Grok 3 to make money online by starting a drop servicing online business. So first of all, we're going to be using Grok AI. Secondly, we're going to be using x.com. And finally, we're going to be using Google. These three tools we're going to use to find clients to sell them a service using drop servicing business model. And I'm going to show you the proof quickly that this actually works. School.com/drop servicing. This is my group. There is the client wins tab. A lot of people are making money, and I want to show you one guy who made money using this entire strategy. Tom, I have got a company for social media marketing, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They're giving me $2,200 as my service charge. Brother, this is amazing. Now, let's start with the strategy. Now that you've got the proof and you understand that my strategies that I talk about on my channel, I've been doing this for a long time, talking about drop servicing for over a year. Hundreds of people have made money with my strategies. First step is you want to go to grok.com and type this exact prompt. So first of all, we're going to be reselling social media management services to financial businesses. How is this actually going to work? Well, first of all, you need to go to Google, right, and type in this exact query. As you can see, using this query, Google just gives you the emails of such people. As you can see, email there, email there, email there, email there. If you're new to drop servicing business model, if you watch some of my videos, or maybe you never watched any of my videos, right? Drop servicing is where you resell other people's services at a profit. Go to fiverr.com, register with the link in my description, and then type in social media content creation. Once you type that in, you're gonna find over 240,000 results. As you can see, a lot of people are offering this service, okay? We're not just doing basic social media where they're giving us the content. No, we're actually creating the content for our potential clients that we're gonna be reselling to them. So for example, this listing I just found, it looks really good. Very good reviews, 4.9 stars, 2,457 reviews in total, 57 orders in the queue. So for $235 a month, she can do basically 5 posts a week on one social media platform. Here for $375, she can do 5 posts a week, okay, on 2 social media platforms. Now, if we go back to this, let's look at some of these people. And quickly, you're gonna understand why specifically I'm going for this niche. Why I'm going for this niche? Because there's a lot of money. These guys have a lot of money. So if you are, for example, in let's say, in stock trading, in financial management, financial advisory, and stuff like that, in this niche, all you need is just one client who works in, I don't know, let's say New York or London or Hong Kong to pay you $2,000, okay, for this service that you're going to essentially outsource for $230, $375, and just one client, and you're making $1,700. In my videos, I usually talk about how to make money with drop servicing business model. But in this video, I'm also going to quickly show you another online business, creating your own influencer, just like this. For example, this is an AI influencer, got 2.4 million followers on Instagram and is making really big money. As you can see on here, this AI influencer has had advertisements and brand deals for Calvin Klein, for Prada, and also a lot of other brands as well. So I'm gonna show you how you can do that using this platform. Once you create an account and end up on this page, click this button. You have 2 options. First option is upload existing model reference image, yourself or someone else, or generate with AI. That's what we're gonna do. So choose whichever options you want. You can adjust the age, you can choose the country, you can choose the hairstyles and all that kind of thing. Click on generate. So this is now generated. Have a look at this image. So what we're gonna do is select this as the reference image. Once you do that, create your image model now. Congratulations, your model is ready. Now, you wanna choose the style for your model. So I wanna go for the realistic style and generate. So the images have generated. Now let's open one of these images. So what we want to do is we want to enlarge this image so it's larger. So click on this button, click on generate. Okay, so the image is now enlarged. The next step is click on generate video. Once you do that, click on the ultra settings, and then you can also choose a different duration, okay? And also add a description of what you want this to do and click generate. So the video has just been generated. Have a look at this. Look at the quality. The ultra setting is incredible. As you can see, the hands, the movement, the hair, everything looks so good. Go to the description of my video for an exclusive link using which, if you sign up and use my code that is also in the description, you're gonna get 15% off the subscriptions. Now back to the video. Now that's why at some point, like a few years ago, I was thinking, okay, what is the best niche that is recurring, right? And that would pay me a lot of money. And you know, social media management is highly recurring because as you can see, these suppliers will do 4 weeks of management. So the full month of management, it's a recurring niche, right? These clients, these financial clients, right? They might order this stuff for a recurring basis, okay? But here's the catch. Most of the other niches that are not financial, right? People just don't want to pay a lot for social media management because they're not making that much money. So just to give you an example, let's say a food truck. How much would a food truck be able to pay you to manage their Facebook accounts, just to post something about how many hot dogs they have this week, how much they're selling it for, and whatever, right? What about their Instagram page? What about their Facebook page? What about their X page and stuff like that? You know, the posting of those posts doesn't bring that much money into their business. That's why they just can't afford to pay anybody anything reasonable. Let's look at this one. So, creating wealth security for you and your family. Got an email there. Okay, who is this guy? So, is he the owner of this company? It looks like it because that's his face, right? This is the name. So it looks like it's himself, but he is the owner of this company. So, like I said, we're looking for tiny companies. By the way, we're not looking to, approach Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Citibank, and stuff like this. No, we're going for these tiny boutique funds that have too much money they don't know what to do with. Okay, and that could pay us a lot of money for this content creation and management. Okay, what is very interesting now. We can also see that they actually have some other pages as well. So this page has no followers. We can even help them to grow this page as well, right? Nothing has been posted. Look, 1 post in 2 years. Come on, this is not very good, right? Let's look at LinkedIn. So 79 followers, not that much. Again, let's look at the posts, okay? So as you can see, 6 days ago, that was a nice post. 2 weeks ago, 1 month ago. This is what I mean content creation. This is what I mean content creation. Somebody has had to do this, and they definitely had to pay money for somebody to design all of this, right? And all that kind of thing. We could be making these things using these suppliers, okay? So they can create, they can create posts just like this, okay? And you can, like I said, you can make a huge amount of money with these financial companies. Look at this one. Super easy to do this as well yourself using Canva and stuff like that. But if you're using a supplier, using a drop servicing business model, you can absolutely create these posts even without dealing with this stuff. Your supplier will do everything, send all of this content to you, and then you'll forward it to the client. Now let's look at their Facebook page as well. Not so many followers. They seem to not be active on here. Again, that's a problem. That's a big problem. As you can see, they've been making like 1 post every year, okay? And it's on their website. It's a very bad look for this company. So again, what can we do? We can contact that company. I'm gonna show you how to do that. I'm gonna give you the message. I'm gonna show you what to send to them and stuff like that. And we can, if you get on a call with this company, just be like, look, on your main website, you want people to invest tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars through your fund, through your business, and you have a Facebook page that hasn't been updated for like 4 years. Like, come on, it doesn't make sense. All of your socials have to be extremely consistent. It's got to have the same posts, it's got to have the same cover images and stuff like that, because it's really important. people do check this stuff when they're looking to wire somebody 100K, 10K, $1 million. So this strategy is really good to identify individuals in financial management, financial advisory, financial management and stuff like that are using personal Gmails in here. So they're essentially representing themselves. They perhaps are owners of these funds. They perhaps are C-level executive in these funds and stuff like that. Now, what is really important, once you find more like a brand, so something like this, wealth management, it's a brand, right? You actually need to go into their website to find their email. So that's exactly what we're gonna do. As I said, this seems to be a very, very good lead because they have not updated their Facebook for a really long time. They've not updated their X properly and stuff like that. Everything is over the place. So what we essentially needing to do is we just finding their email at the top. This is really, really good. Now, sometimes you can also go and find the team page and sometimes you can even find the email of the exact person, or at least the name of that person. So what is really good is that we actually found a name of the person here. That's really, really good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to this. This is your next step, is type in X Grok leads on Google Sheets, create a new sheet, okay? And you're going to put in the email like that. Now, another thing is we actually got, his name as well, which is really, really good. So we can personalize this email. It's going to have a much, much higher likelihood that he will actually reply. So let's actually copy and paste his name in here. I'm going to really personalize it. Okay, now X URL, it's really important. So later on, if somebody replies to you, you can quickly go back to these leads, okay? And finally, the website is going to be this. So this is our very first lead. Now, with this strategy, like I said, because we're going after wealthy people in financial management and stuff like that, honestly, do not worry about having hundreds, if not thousands of leads. We're literally looking to get one client for you to start making $1,000 a month of profit, no questions asked. Like, to this industry, I wouldn't offer less than 1,500 for this social media management because these people are rich. You have to do high value work for them and get paid a lot. That's the name of the game. What is also very interesting here, if you actually want to use these personal emails as well, so what you can do is you can copy all of this thing, right? Then go to Grok and type in this, please export, and then just paste all of this stuff over there. So what Grok is actually going to do, it's going to give you all of these, URLs of these financial management companies together with their email without you having to do anything. This is really, really good. But like I said, it's actually worth looking into these brands, okay, and identifying their problems. So like I looked into the Facebook of these guys, not updated. I looked on LinkedIn. It looks quite good. By the way, a lot of these guys are gonna be focused on LinkedIn because that's where their clients are. Their clients are on LinkedIn. We can actually just copy and paste this onto our Google Sheet, literally just like that. Okay, so I just sorted out this list. So I showed you two strategies. One which is more manual, doing more research and identifying exactly what we can help them with, okay, which is super important. And the other way, which is using Grok 3 AI to basically get this data quickly from Google, okay, copy and paste and export those emails and put it into a database. It's super fast. These two approaches are slightly different because with this approach, you're not looking for so much personalization. You're going for the volume approach, hoping that somebody's gonna get interested. Here, we're gonna do slightly different thing because we're going to personalize the name. We know exactly the problems they have. So if they are interested, if they want to have a call with me, right, I can just point out issues straight away. On the call, I can load up their Facebook page and be like, guys, this is on your website. You haven't updated this for 3 years. These people are wealthy and you want to charge them a lot of money and provide high value. That's why I wouldn't go for the cheapest supplier on Fiverr for this social media marketing and content creation. I would not go for the cheapest one. I would go for somebody who's really doing a good job. Very high reviews and the level of reviews. And also, if you actually go and read what people are saying here, you want to read the negatives and the positive reviews as well. And a lot of people are apparently repeat clients there. Look, as you can see from so many reviews, not many negative reviews actually, and a lot of repeat buyers according to Fiverr. So now what is really important is let's actually go back to Grok and quickly go through this step-by-step guide, all of the things that you need to consider if you wanted to start this Grok 3 business model using drop servicing. So identify your niche is the step 1 from Grok 3. Identifying your target niche and target audience. Well, for this specific business, I'm saying you can go for accountants, financial advisors, wealth managers, fintech startups, not so much. We're looking at the old money, guys in fund management, in stocks and stuff like that. Not so much investment banks, because investment banks by nature are large businesses that not really going to work with us. We're looking for, financial companies that have from 1 to 50 employees, so the owner is still involved, and that we can actually get as a client. You're never gonna contact Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan or Citibank and they're gonna order from you social media. It's just not gonna happen. You need a business just like that with a few employees that realistically can become your client. You need to think about why this niche. Well, the thing is, social media presence for financial businesses is extremely important. Even tiny typo on one of their posts could put off somebody into investing thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars, into their fund, into their business. So there is no place for typos. There is no place for mistakes. There's literally, it's gotta be clinical. The quality has to be clinical. It has to be absolutely to the nth degree, okay? And they're willing to pay money for that. They're willing to pay money for that, okay? Now, there's also a lot of regulatory compliance and stuff like that involved. That's why I wouldn't just post stuff on their page. I would always send them the info to review. If they approve, if they say, oh yeah, that's fine to post, or if they want to post themselves and make some changes, that's fine. But you got to do your work to ask for the approval, and they have to approve all the stuff that's going to go on their LinkedIn, on their Facebook, on their X, on their website, whatever you're posting this stuff. Step 2, according to Grok 3 AI. Decide what you'll offer. So there's a few things that you can do. All of these services are kind of linked together, but there is an opportunity to make money on one or the other or all of them. So content creation, posts, graphics, videos. So if we're taking this business as an example, so they've got video there, right? They've got text, okay? They've got images. So all of those 3 things that we just covered. And this is content creation that can be done from scratch, or it can be done from their text. So they would say, you know what, currently we're thinking about making a post that Bank of England reduces the rate from 475 to 450, and we need a poster like that and stuff like this. So they just give you the text and you make the design of this yourself or by using a supplier on Fiverr, okay? Super simple, nice and easy business to basically create this content. Now, some of these guys might be like, you know what, can you also schedule posts onto our page? Can you post onto our page? Okay, increase engagement, grow our page. Of course, you can do that. That's also a service that you can include in the monthly charge, or it could be an extra charge. Paid ads management, I probably wouldn't touch this for this niche, okay? Because anything to do with finance, there's a lot of regulations, what you can promote, what you cannot promote, and stuff like that. You can you really don't want to get into this. We're talking about organic posting only. Now, analytics and reporting, super important. Most of these pages for, financial companies and stuff like that, they probably have no idea how many people they're reaching, how their content is doing and stuff like that, because that's not their business. Honestly, let's be real. That is not their business. They're good at managing finances, looking at spreadsheets, looking at capex rates and incomes and expenses and stuff like that of businesses or people. They're not good at running social media, typically. Like, I've seen a lot of these companies, they're typically not good at managing social media. So that's why we can manage it, we can give them analytics, and we can help them to grow their pages. And the final thing that is really, really important in this, bundle these into packages. Bundle these into packages. You have to know this if you're woken up at the middle of the night, that this is how you should be selling this stuff. You don't want to sell all of this individually and stuff like that and charge, we only charge $200 to make this content. We only charge $300 to post. We only charge, no, you want to say $1,500. I'm going to create you the content up to, let's say, 5 posts or whatever. You want to mirror what your supplier is doing. So let's say here, we're going to be, for example, posting on your LinkedIn and on your X and on your on your Facebook page, right? And it's going to cost you, let's say, $1,500. Okay, we're paying $500 on here, so we're basically making $1,000 of clear profit. Clear profit. We're doing all of that, okay, making $1,000 of clear profit from one business. By the way, I'm talking about small businesses. If you find a fund that has 30, 40, 50 employees, you could comfortably charge $2,500 to $5,000 to manage just one set of business accounts: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, and stuff like that. $2,500 up to $5,000. I'm being serious. I'm being serious, and there's your proof. There's your proof that people are paying this money. I'm telling you, in this kind of industry, people are paying a lot, even more. Some people are paying $10,000 and more to manage their accounts for agencies. So we're already a lot cheaper. Now, step 3, according to Grok, setting up your business framework, choosing a business name. What is really important for this particular niche? I think it is actually important to create a website. So you just basically want a simple website that talks about social media management. So let's just say social media management agency. I'm gonna show you an example of how this can look. So let's just say, let's look at this one. So social media management company, social media marketing agency, get free proposal. Yeah, something like that. You don't need these fancy videos on there. Add some reviews and stuff like that. You can do something like this. It's just a random example, but it would be advisable. In this niche, it would be advisable to create a website, because these financial companies might not trust you, okay, if you don't have a website. Does it mean that you cannot email them from a Gmail? No. For emailing using Gmail, that is absolutely no problem, but you want to have your personal brand domain name and a website if you want to do this properly. Legal setup, not gonna do any financial advice on here, but obviously you have LLCs, LTDs, you can register as a sole proprietorship and stuff like that if you're a single individual, right? So you can do all of that and look into that yourself. And pricing, of course, this is the most important part. This is where you're gonna make the money. The legal setup and all that kind of thing, that's all cool and fancy, but we need to know how much money you're gonna make, what is going to be your margin and stuff like that, because that's where the business actually comes from, not from setting up these companies and registering as a self-employed or sole proprietorship and stuff like that. So decide your markup. For example, if a freelancer charges $300 a month, you could sell it for $600 to $800 a month. In this niche, that's what I'm saying. Some of you guys are going to go into this niche and going to make life-changing money. Some of you guys are going to make $5,000 a month from this, and you're going to go on to my school group a few months from now and say, Tom, I watched your video that day. I started reaching out to people in the financial space, and now I got a client who's paying me $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. You know, this will happen. Some of you will actually make this money, and I'm gonna be super happy for you. I'm rooting for you, brother. Okay. What is really important, in my view, you should be charging at least $1,500. So $500 is your cost to actually that you're gonna pay for your supplier. So you're essentially making at least $1,000 profit from one client. At least. That's what you should be doing. At least, because then you need just one client to be profiting 1K a month. And these clients typically are gonna be recurring on a monthly basis. Brother, come on, this is a real business model. Please just get down to work. Start doing something, especially since I gave you the proof that this works from my community. Like, I've done this myself. I've grew some accounts on LinkedIn. Okay, so I've done this myself. I've grew some Instagram accounts as well. I know how this works. I know people are paying big money for this. It is working. You just have to get down into this, learn the stuff, do the outreach, find some clients, and start making this money, okay? So, step 4, according to Grok AI chat bot. So, find reliable freelancers or agencies. I wouldn't go near agencies because they're gonna overcharge you a lot. You wanna go straight into a single individual freelancers on Fiverr. You want to make sure more than 1,000 reviews, 4.9 stars or more. 4.8 is not good because in this niche there is a lot of suppliers. Maximum of $300 to $500 a month they should be charging you. That's it. You can also check out the other platforms like Upwork, Freelancer, and stuff like that. This is really not hard to find these freelancers in this niche. It's quite easy because a lot of people can do social media management. Okay. Now, step 5, build a portfolio even without clients. So how can you do that? Now, what I would do in this case is, as usual, I would say you want to leverage your supplier's work, okay? Now, how can you do that? Well, if your client asks you, oh, do you have any examples of your work? Yeah, you can basically copy this work from here, from your supplier. The one that you're gonna use, okay? The one that you're gonna use, you can put it onto, something like this. For example, these are the posts, right, that, they would copy and paste into LinkedIn, into X, and stuff like that. As you can see, this kind of stuff. So you can copy and paste this, right? And you can put it onto, Behance or, for example, Google Drive or something like that. But you only would show them this portfolio once they've shown some interest, okay? Because in this niche, it's not so much about the visual things. A lot of these companies are actually going to want just simple text things like that. This is what you're going to be delivering to these people, okay? Some of them will obviously also want posts like this, and that's the good thing because these companies can do that as well, these freelancers, I mean. But please ask your freelancer, can you use the work? So just be like something, look, I've got a marketing agency, right? And I have a lot of clients. I want to be ordering a lot of social media management from you, but in order to do that, I need to show some of your work to my clients just to get their approval that they're looking, they're happy with that, what you've done, right? And that I can basically use your work. So most of the time, people are going to be like, yes, but you have to tell them that you will bring them clients, otherwise they won't agree. Step 6. Which is really important as well, marketing your services. So in this video, I already showed you 2 ways how to find these leads. One is manual research, okay, where you find these businesses based on my specific script, okay, based on this query. You find these businesses all in one place, okay. The second thing is where you export them as well. So this is less targeted. You're not doing any research, but you're relying on more volume, okay? So with this in mind, we're of course going to be focusing on email marketing. Cold emailing is what we're gonna do. I found most of my clients, and I had worked with clients from US, UK, Australia. These are the main places really. Now, step 7, according to Grok 3 AI. Close deals and deliver. So the sales process is usually like this. So you're gonna start sending emails. Like I said, I'm gonna give you the message. I'm gonna show you how to send them and stuff like that. you're gonna offer a free consultation call to discuss their needs. You know, these financial brands and companies are not going to be, they're not going to be impulse buyers. They're not going to be like, oh, great, that looks really good. Who is this guy? I'm just going to wire some money to him. No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work like that. This industry is quite closed. You know, they want to check who they're working with, right? They want to have the personal touch. They want to talk to you over on a call, okay? So if you can't do calls, maybe this niche is not the best, okay? You can sell the social media management to another niche. For example, I don't know, let's say real estate agents are slightly different. They're more open-minded. They have less to lose because in the financial industry, right, they have a lot to lose. One mistake can wipe out a lot of business for them. You know, they can alienate a lot of their clients. So that's why they're super careful. They're really quite slow as well. They might take a few weeks to think about whether they want to work with you or not. But if they work with you, they're going to pay a lot of money, and typically they won't change and hop around from supplier to supplier. In this case, of course, it's your business that they probably are going to stick to because these guys are like switched on. You know, they don't have the time to deal with like different suppliers and going on Fiverr and stuff like that. After you do that, after you send those emails, if somebody is interested, you gotta offer free phone or video consultation with them to discuss their needs. And then once you know their needs, you can then propose something. But like I said, less than 1,500, I wouldn't even get involved with using, you know, with these financial businesses. Then once the client signs up, you're gonna get their requirements, clear instructions and deadlines, what needs to be done by when, how much content and stuff like that. And you're essentially going to order from that supplier, whether this one or another one. And you're gonna, after you buy it, at the end, there will be a requirements field. So you add all of those requirements, right? And then you basically say, by this and this date, this needs to be done. This needs to be sent to me for approval. Once you approve it, then you can send it to your client. Always, of course, you're not putting your freelancer and client in direct contact. You never do that, okay? It's always going through you. You're a filter effectively managing this relationship, okay? Finally, step 8, scale and optimize. Reinvest to hire more freelancers, expand services, ask satisfied clients for testimonials and reviews. This is exactly why I'm saying, you know, having your own website in this niche actually will look a lot more professional. Something like this. Obviously, if you don't have so many employees, like you're on your own, right? You're not going to put something like this on there, but you can have a website like this. It's not hard. And having these reviews like that, right? It'll make a big difference, honestly. Now let's look at their pricing as well. Just interesting. So in this year, social media management costs businesses anywhere between $750 to $7,000 a month. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Okay, I was telling you across all this video that you can make a bunch of money with this niche. And you know, this is a business that is advertising on Google right now, looking for clients, and they're starting at $750. So that's like the lowest plan. Is probably just one platform, and it probably gives you nothing. Okay, the real people, the real agencies in this industry are starting at $1,500, $2,000 a month. Starting at. Okay, if you want some more custom stuff where we're basically creating content like that, like these guys. If we're gonna create content for them like that, like these videos and stuff like that, it's gonna cost them $1,500 to $2,000 minimum. So you can make $1,000 a month. And finally, what we need now. So we got those leads. We discussed everything in detail. How you're going to the entire blueprint. How you're going to make money with this. Now, the final thing we need a message that we're also going to send to these people. Let's now go and open up Gmail. Like I said, in this niche, ideally, you have your own website. So that would be the ideal case, okay? But if you don't have a website right now, you can still start the outreach, okay? And create a website in the next couple of days. Or you can create a website and then start this outreach. Now, why I'm saying you should use Gmail as opposed to setting up a whole new email marketing software like MailChimp, Instantly, Mail Sender, and stuff like that. Because those tools cost a lot of money, first of all. And second of all, if you are in email marketing, you will know that lately, even some bigger marketing agencies are actually using Gmails. The reason for that is because these email marketing tools like MailChimp are getting ever so stricter with cold emailing, okay? These emails that we get from Grok, right, they didn't do single or double opt-in. So they didn't sign up for us emailing them. That's why when you upload all these leads, let's say onto Mail Sender or MailChimp or similar kind of platforms, they'll ask you, how did you get these leads? Did you sign up for your list, for your newsletter, whatever? No. If the answer is no, they actually might not allow you to send these emails. So a lot of big marketing agencies are actually now using Gmails, free Gmails, believe it or not. This year, it's happening. It's happening. It's really crazy, right? The way they're doing it, by the way, is they simply set up a lot of dummy Gmails, and then, so in this case, let's just say if I was the owner of this business, live marketing, right? So if I want to do a lot of outreach to cold business leads, I would set up 10 Gmails, let's say, right? And call it livemarketing@gmail.com. And I would send emails from there. If somebody replies into that email, then I would forward it to my main domain, and this is where I would continue the conversation. This is to make sure that I don't damage my main domain name, okay? And I can do a lot of email marketing without worrying about if this gets suspended or if this gets to spam. I don't care, because I can just set up another Gmail. That's what people are doing these days, okay? So let's look at this template. First of all, it's really, really, really long. So please, let's see what I can do. Yes, this is looking good, okay? So let's actually copy this over here. And as usual, I'm going to reword this. Okay, so I just rewritten this template. As you can see, I've added a name from here, from the first lead, and just click send. Now let's view the message. It's a bit on the longer side, but I'm adding one sentence which is really tailored to them. There is a name there. It's very high chance that this guy is going to reply. So I'm really happy with this message. And finally, if you actually want to learn more about drop servicing, there is a ton of videos. Watch my 10 latest videos and also watch my 10 most popular videos. As you can see, some of them are approaching or over 20K views already, okay? So finally, if you want to learn directly from me how to start a drop servicing business as a side hustle, or maybe perhaps growing it into a full-time business, I actually got a 3 months drop servicing mentorship where I teach you personally over video calls how to start drop servicing, how to find clients, how to choose a niche, how to choose a service, what is working right now, and stuff like this. In one of these corners, you're going to find an email. You can send an email to me, apply, and we can chat about it. Thanks for watching this video. Drop a like, subscribe to my channel, drop in a comment, and I'm going to see you in the next video.